Hello again, basketball fans. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, aka Dr. A, at your service. It's the Fantasy NBA today, here on the Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball channel, and we have a huge Thursday night of basketball. Want to tell you about our great sponsor, Bet Online. They continue to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, college basketball, UFC, NHL. BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers to hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, as we look ahead to Thursday here, and we'll start with San Antonio and Indiana in just a moment. I'm rocking a Lakers jersey. I'm rocking LeBron here tonight because Thursday will bring the first matchup of the season between Celtics and Lakers. And I'm not a hardcore Lakers fan at all, but I grew up a Showtime Lakers fan. So whenever it's Lakers and Celtics, I do kind of plug back into that Laker fandom, man. I see you repping the Hawks again tonight, dude. What's up?
Yeah, I'm lazy. I've just been wearing this sweatshirt for a minute. Dude, Lakers versus Celtics in the 80s, like it just didn't get better than that. Like that's my favorite memories of NBA basketball not involving Dominique Wilkins or anything current today. Um, that was just you just stopped everything you were doing to watch those games.
And it will happen again on Thursday night, and it should be another very, very good game because Boston isn't playing a whole lot of guys Wednesday night at the Clippers, and they should be fortified and ready to go. So let's dive into the entire Thursday night slate. We'll get to the Lakers and the Celtics in a moment. We're going to start with a game. Set your lineups early on Thursday, guys, 2 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be the San Antonio Spurs in Wemby at the Indiana Pacers at, I don't know why I have that there. It's a Paris game, okay? This game is being played overseas in Paris. First meeting this year between these teams. We do get Wemby and Hallie, two of the most exciting players in the game, and this is obviously going to be a Wemby game. He's in France. He should be inspired being back on home soil. Last year in two matchups with Indiana, Doc, he went 22 and 11, 3 assists, 4 blocks, 1 steal, all per game, 2.5 threes per game. Halliburton wasn't great, 17 points, 8 assists, only shot 37%. That was last year against the Spurs, okay? Halliburton, Doc, is due for a big game here. At Paris, remember, Steve Kerr didn't play him, okay? So he's probably like feeling some get back, even though Kerr's not there. Yo, I want to get out here and put on a show in France because I had that robbed from me last summer. And Halliburton, Doc, over the last 3 games has gone 2, 17, 9. And that's really low dough from Halliburton. So I like the point assist combo prop for him. I do think he's going to spike in the points, but insulate yourself a little bit with that because he's going to have statistics one way or the other. Probably going to be a double-double game for him. So I would go over on the point assist combo here for Tyrese Halliburton in the Paris games.
Yeah, I thought MLK Day was Monday, but I think there's more games on Thursday than there were on Monday, and when we got a 2 p.m. start, so it feels very much like MLK Day. I'm with you on Wemby, man. I think he is going to go nuts, or at least he's going to try to, because like you said, he's in France. He's going to be fired up, and afternoon basketball on a Thursday, sign me up, man. Pretty cool.
It is, man. It's I believe it's going to be live on NBA TV for those of you guys, maybe DVR'd if you're working and can't watch it. The Spurs need a win, Doc. They have lost 6 of their last 7 games. Quietly, maybe for the overall NBA, not quietly in San Antonio. I'm sure those fans are freaking out. The Pacers, on the other hand, Doc, are rolling. They've won 8 of their last 9 games. I like the Spurs here. I will take the 3.5 points, Doc. This is official release from your boy Cam here. Because, Sohan, word on the street, Doc, he's been upgraded to questionable. All right. And so it's kind of all the French connection and the planets are aligning here. And the Spurs are due for a win. The Pacers are probably due for a bit of a correction. This is a get yourself out of rhythm game, perhaps for Indiana. So I like and Devin Vassell's on a heater right now, Doc. Last 4 games, he's been 23, 21, 21, 23. And so I am anticipating the return of Sohan here. I think his re-addition to the lineup will help. And I like the Spurs plus 3.5 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Spurs are not favored because this is a home game for them, basically. And I think Wemby's teammates are going to be, hey, man, let's help him put on a show for this crowd and let's get a win. I think Chris Paul is going to be really up for this game. Vassell's hot. And, Sohan's a good player. So I'm with you. I love the Spurs getting the points. I don't know that there's any obvious streamers here. You shouldn't really need streamers on Thursday with all the games that are happening. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal to find streamers for tomorrow. But maybe Keldon Johnson will do something. Maybe it'll be a Keldon Johnson game and Harry Barnes will have jet lag and chill out for once.
It's tough, man, because if Sohan comes back, then Castle's going to go back to coming off the bench, crowding the bench even more with Keldon Johnson, with Trey Jones, with all those guys. It's a stay away. Julian Champagny, all those guys. And, Doc, the Pacers are too deep right now. Siakam does his thing. Turner does his thing. Halliburton overall, he has these weird games, but overall the numbers are fantastic. But when you go beyond that, Doc, and you go to Mathurin, you go to Nebhard, you go to TJ McConnell, Shepard, who played really well in their last game, Neesmith, who is back, Jarris Walker, Obi Toppin, Thomas Bryant. Are you guys getting the point here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 relative studs in role player roles, right? Outside of their main 3 guys. That goes 11 deep, okay? Spin the bottle with all of those guys every single game. It's a little bit like the Phoenix thing. It's a little bit like the Steve Kerr Golden State thing. I'm not mad. I don't know, Doc. Like, Indiana has, these guys are all good, right? Think about this, dude. Those are, if those dudes were unleashed with a lot of usage and a lot of shots and a lot of minutes, like their numbers would be very, very good. With Indiana, they got to share and all that kind of stuff. But it makes it very, very difficult to pinpoint, Doc, night to night, which of those guys to go with. Outside of the main 3 for Indiana, and frankly, because of that, it's a stay away for me.
Yeah, you're right, but they've kind of got a Golden State rotation thing going. Like they have too many mouths to feed, but Indiana's playing very well, and he still plays. Carlisle plays the core the appropriate amount of minutes. So, but outside of the core, you can't really trust a lot of those guys.
It's tough, dude. So, Doc, we may be getting, as we move on to Portland and Orlando, it's Fantasy NBA today, Cam and Doc. Portland at Orlando on Thursday night. Franz Wagner may come back and play, Doc. He is questionable for this game, closing in on a return. He's in the return to play conditioning protocol or whatever they call that. So he's, he's inching closer here. Tomorrow might be the game, or Thursday night might be the game where he comes back. And I've got a buy low, sell high article hitting Sports Ethos Fantasy Basketball. Check it out, sportsethos.com. And Franz Wagner is in there, Doc. And this news came out, and I was having these vibrations even before that because this is one of the top breakout players this year, 24, 6, and 6 before the injury in like 22 games or whatever it was. And Doc, they're so starved for scoring right now. They just do not put enough points on the board. They need 24 from Franz Wagner. They need 25, 26 from Paolo Banchero just to tread water offensively and scoreboard wise. So I'm excited for Franz's return. I think people should make offers right now before he gets back on the court and we can see him play again.
I was really high on Franz coming into the season. I thought we were going to get a big bounce back. We certainly did get that. It started in the Olympics. He played well, shot very well, and now he's this season he's been amazing. So if you can talk somebody into Franz, um, I think it's a good idea. I think he's going to finish up strong. Orlando just got blown out by Toronto. I did not see that coming. Um, so yeah, but they need him back because Jalen Suggs is hurt. Goga's been out. Wendell Carter Jr. is an obvious play anytime Goga's out, so I'd roll with him. Um, Cole Anthony missed the last game. He's a little dicey. If he's out, then Anthony Black is automatic. You're muted.
Pardon me. Anthony Black has been very solid. He's not going to help you in the 3-ball category. He might hit one, okay? But there's a lot of games where even when he's playing good minutes where he's giving you a bagel in the 3-point column, kind of like the Thompson twins. It just is what it is. But the numbers are good and they're getting better from Anthony Black last 5 games. He's gone 17, 10, 13, 14, 17 with 8 steals total, and he's averaged 4 rebounds and 4 assists over that span. It's a pretty good PRA, probably around a 13, 4, and 4 with almost 2 steals per game. And if Suggs is out and if Cole Anthony is out, then Black is going to play 30-plus minutes, and he's going to give you that and maybe more of a stat line, especially against a Portland team that's obviously not very good. Now, Doc, and so I really like Anthony Black if Cole and Suggs don't play in this game. As we shift our attention to Portland here, Doc, they've won 2 in a row with this new arrangement of Scoot Henderson starting, them going with the double forward look of Denny Avdia and Jeremy Grant. They did go with the Tumani Kamara 3-forward look in that first game, and then Anthony Simons came back and started the last game, and then Ayton at the 5. So one of the spots has been a little fluid before the spots have been good, and it's been working. The stats have been very good for all of these guys. They've won 2 games in a row. And Doc, it doesn't look like Jalen Suggs is going to play. And if he doesn't, I like the over on the point assist combo prop for Scoot Henderson because I can't promise a 20-point game, but I can promise a really solid overall balanced box score look from Scoot in the point and assist categories.
As of yesterday, Scoot was only 50% owned in Yahoo leagues. He's my number 1 pickup, and he's gone in competitive leagues. But if you're in a smaller league, you want Scoot Henderson. Silly season hero last year. He's going to do it again this year. He's on a hot run over his last 5 games right now. He's been great. I love seeing Scoot Henderson blow up. Our guy, Delano Banton, making a little bit of noise off the bench. Not much, but a lot more than he was early in the season. Denny Avdia was great in his last game. I'm a Denny guy. And DeAndre Ayton sounds a little bit iffy for this game. Maybe we see Robert Williams do something. I don't know. Might be a good time to fire up Robert Williams for the 1 game you can use him in for a month, and then he'll miss the next 8 games.
You better offer him up now, DeAndre Ayton. He's in my sell high, buy low article, and he's in a sell high situation for me. And obviously, you're not selling very high; you're selling medium or whatever with DeAndre Ayton. But he, hopefully he plays and gives you a little bit more time to trade him. But he is questionable for Thursday night's game. Now, Doc, we move on here, and let's talk about Toronto at Atlanta. And Atlanta took an L. And frankly, a disappointing L. I mean, and not that they lost on Wednesday night to Detroit, a very good team all of a sudden, but the way they did, like Detroit kind of went in there and went psh, 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 and just like bullied them. And well, this is our house tonight. It wasn't a good look. So this is the second of a back-to-back, and probably would be a dangerous spot for Atlanta coming off of a win. The Raptors are not on a back-to-back, but they may have the Buckhead flu. Instead of watching the Hawks and Detroit game, they may have been out at the club. Who knows? I don't know. It's that kind of city, okay? And so you've got these dueling factors here. Buckhead flu versus second of a back-to-back for Atlanta, but they should be motivated coming off of that again, uninspiring loss. The Raptors are hot all of a sudden, Doc. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. They are playing their best ball of the season here. You're wearing the Hawks gear right now. Do you feel like your Hawks are going to dig deep and be badass about this back-to-back or what?
They need to, because they're playing well. They're having a good season. They came out looking like they had the Buckhead flu last night. They just did not get off to a good start at all. They were playing catch up the whole game. They were down 20 going into the fourth quarter. They came back a little bit. Dyson was great. Jalen was great. Trey was okay. Didn't have a great game. Onyeka and Capella may be proving that they can coexist now that Capella's coming off the bench. Yeah, that was a rough loss for Atlanta. Everybody appears to be healthy except for Ricochet. I'm hoping Jalen Johnson plays in the back-to-back.
Jalen Johnson may not. There were times on the bench during Wednesday's game. You look over at the bench and he's got, I couldn't tell if it was a heat pack or an ice pack, probably a heat pack to keep the blood flowing in his right shoulder, which has been giving him problems and keeping him out. Now, for this game right here, Doc, I'm feeling a Scotty Barnes flex game. I am. Jalen Johnson is getting all-star buzz. He is not. Obviously, the records are what they are. But Scotty Barnes is probably going to be like, yo, let me try to make my own little statement here competitively. Last game, he was 17, 11, and 8. I do like the PRA over for Scotty Barnes right here against Atlanta. And I don't know if Jalen Johnson's going to play in this game. Frankly, I think he's trending on the dark side of questionable based on how they've been treating him lately, based on the status of that elbow. And Doc, is possible streamers if people want to go this way. There's a couple of Raptors off the bench who are being auditioned right now for trades. Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown. And they've been seen and heard in the last game or two, okay? And I think Toronto's going to keep playing them 20-something minutes. And both of these guys are box score guys when they play 20 or 20-plus minutes in the game. So if you're looking for a streamer, and Atlanta's a very generous team, this should be a kind of run-and-gun, entertaining ball game with lots of activity, lots of scoring, lots of stats. So Kelly O and Bruce Brown stand out to me, Doc.
Yeah, I was going to mention Bruce Brown because he had 17 points and 6 boards with 2 threes on Friday. And then his next game on Tuesday, the one where they beat Orlando, shockingly, 15 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 2 threes. He's gotten over 20 minutes in like 5 of his last 6 games. I think you're right. They're auditioning him for a trade. And he'll probably do some stuff against Atlanta, especially because he plays defense. I like Bruce Brown. Jakob Poeltl fouled out a couple games ago, and that's when Olynyk kind of popped. But Olynyk is trending up. His minutes are creeping up, so that's good for him. So I like both those guys.
He is Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A, FSWA Hall of Famer. I am Rick Kamla. We have our great producer, Andre Lemouche, with us as well, fact-checking all of the stuff that we do here in a great way. So before we move on, we want to thank you guys for listening to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast. If you want to help us, it's very simple. Go over to sportsethos.com and subscribe for us. That would help us out. And subscribe to the podcast as well. Go to our YouTube channel, Fantasy NBA Today. Give us a 5-star review and subscribe to the show. And obviously watch it as much as you can. Doc, Miami at Milwaukee. This is a spicy Thursday night. There are lots of layers that we haven't even gotten to yet, okay? And this game got real interesting with the news from Shams Charania that the Heat have suspended Jimmy Butler for 2 games for missing the team's flight to Milwaukee. Okay, he missed the team's flight to Milwaukee. This is 2 middle fingers of a salute to Pat Riley. I mean, obviously, it's just an act of rebellion and insubordination from Jimmy Butler. Butler reportedly planned to rejoin his teammates on Wednesday night, but he will remain home from Miami's 2-game trip. Next opportunity to play, Doc, will be Monday night against Orlando. Let me help out the Miami Heat. Because I've said for a year or so now that Heat culture is broken. This is an example of Heat culture being broken, okay? Tibbs culture is the strongest in the NBA right now. Doc, let me help the Heat, okay? Because they need it right now. This should not read 2 games. This should read suspended indefinitely, okay? Stop putting a number on this. It was 7 games. He came back. He screwed up the thing. You were 1-2 in those 3 games, and now he's going back out, okay? Like, no, just say indefinitely. He's not playing again for the Miami Heat. But they keep playing this game in 2 games. What happens 2 games from now? Are you going to bring back the disgruntled and completely buzz-killed Jimmy Butler? Why would you do that? It's detrimental to your team.
That's a good question. I would have suspended him indefinitely. All right. Well, I don't know. Can you suspend somebody indefinitely? If I don't know. But it was funny. I got that tweet from Shams on Wednesday, and I read it, and I started to retweet it. And I was like, wait a second. I want to make sure that this is not a joke from like Charmania or something. Because sometimes you get stuff on Twitter where it's fake, but it looks like it's real. They used to get people on Woj all the time. I was like, this is unreal, dude. Like, Butler was probably like, I'm gonna be late to the airport and see what happens, or maybe I just won't even go to the airport. And then Pat Riley's like, "F you, you're suspending him again, dude." All I could see. You remember that Showtime Lakers documentary drama TV show where made Jerry West look like a psycho, where he was like breaking stuff, throwing stuff, and he was always cussing and screaming at people. When Pat Riley found out Jimmy Butler missed that play, dude, I could see him destroying an entire office in the Heat at Heat headquarters. Like, just who does he think he is? And this is a war, dude. This is it's escalated to the point where it may not end well. Like, Riley may just pack it in and be like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that you either play someplace that you do not want to play, or you just sit here and keep losing game checks.
The suspension thing, you usually suspend a guy without pay. Now, what usually happens is the players appeal this, they go through the Players Association, and they end up getting paid in full, or maybe a settlement where each side kind of comes to a compromise here. So, and that'll all be backhaul boardroom stuff. But again, in the Sell High Buy Low article that I've got hitting sportsethos.com on the fantasy basketball side here very, very soon, Jimmy Butler is a buy low player for me, okay? Because his value has probably never been worse or lower than right now. You could get him for a low dough offer, and who knows? If he goes to Phoenix, he may play better. I mean, anything is better than what he is right now. Mr. Triple Single, he's putting Draymond Green lines out there. He's going through the motions and all that. So any kind of change of scenery is going to create a spike for Jimmy Butler, okay? And I do think that's going to happen here. I do think they're going to end up trading him. And so I do think he's a buy low guy. Am I crazy about Jimmy Butler? No, I'm not. Is he an injury risk? Yes, he is, okay? But again, make low dough offers for him. See if the Jimmy Butler manager is just like, I got an offer for Jimmy Butler. Thank God, I'll take it. Anything, okay? So make that move. And then, Doc, Tyler Hero is he's going to play in this game against Milwaukee on Thursday. He missed the previous game with right groin tightness. That's very, very good news that this bubble all-star Tyler Hero is going to come back and presumably get back to being the number one option here without Jimmy Butler, because that's where he's been all year.
Yeah, and hopefully Khalil Ware starts. I hope that's a move we're going to keep the rest of the way. With Jimmy suspended for 2 games, it's almost guaranteed, I think, that he starts. And now Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez Jr. are both very relevant again for these next 2 games. Jovic was playing really well. Anyway, Jaime was kind of hit or miss, but generally pretty good. and it may put your guy Haywood Highsmith back into play. But Khalil Ware, like we said for the last few days, must have, must pick up player. Jovic is basically a must have player in my book, and Hawkins is close.
Indeed, I agree with all of that, man. Hopefully, you guys, because we've been talking a lot about Ware going back a week, but this is obviously a preview show for Thursday. But all week long, we've been talking about him. Again, just check your league. Just check your league. Take a minute right now as I'm talking right now. Go through your leagues and be like, where he's taken. Ooh, where's available? Just look through your league. That's all we ask. So the next chapter of the Khalil Ware story should be fun. I believe, Doc, and there's truth in all sarcasm. I believe he needs to be 100% rostered, okay? And we know that guys like Durant and De'Aaron Fox, they're 100% rostered, right? They're the badasses of this league. But every league should have this guy on a team. They really should, okay? If you're in a 10-team league, Khalil Ware should be rostered. If you're in a 12-team league, Ware should be rostered, okay? 8-team leagues. You shouldn't be playing in an 8-team league. That sucks, okay? But to me, he should be 100% rostered. He's like a 20-10 guy with blocks and threes, okay? He's like Christian Wood back when Christian Wood was good, right? I mean, he's a really, really good, small sample, but a really good fantasy player. Doc, I am predicting big games from Giannis Antetokounmpo and Bam Adebayo. Why? They have the same agent. They are rivals. They are buddies. And that is going to bring out the best in their games. Giannis is going to Giannis. Okay, he's the Will Chamberlain of our game right now with the 31 and 13 and 6. But when you think of Bam Adebayo, he hasn't been great this year, Doc. 15 points a game, down from about 19, right? And I think Bam without Jimmy Butler is going to start to ascend a little bit, take more shots, pat the ball more, score more, and I think he's going to be fired up. I like Bam Adebayo to have a big game against Giannis on Thursday night.
I don't really. I think Giannis is going to be D him up. I think Khalil Ware is going to take away some of what Bam does and what Bam's value is based on. And I don't love the matchup. Brook Lopez is big. Giannis is big. I don't know if I agree. I'm going to disagree with you on that one, but that just means we get to see who was right when we reconvene on Thursday night.
So let me pinpoint where I'm at with this. It would not be an over on his point prop because points have been weird for Bam this year, but it would be over on his PRA prop because I think when you look at his point, rebound, assist stat line Thursday night against Milwaukee, you're going to really like what you see. And even if it's down a little bit in points, then I think it rises in rebounds and assists. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be a rock star PRA night from Bam Adebayo. Very hard to predict on the Milwaukee Bucks night tonight beyond Giannis and Dame. You've got Portis versus Middleton canceling each other out in a way off their bench. Then you've got Prince and Jackson and all these guys. They play half the game. They don't do anything statistically. Brook Lopez is a complete dice roll night tonight. And so I don't know what to tell you. There's probably other more reliable, more trustworthy options than the Bucks outside of Giannis and Dame. Anything else here on Miami and Milwaukee, Doc, before we move on?
I'm proud of myself for sticking to my Chris Middleton as toast stance that I had all year. He came back 20 points, 20 points, 20 points. Everybody's getting fired up. I was like, no, this is a facade. This isn't real. That's all I got.
All right, dude. Dallas and OKC, they will play on Thursday night. Both in the second of a back-to-back. Really nice job by the NBA to set it up this way, right? This should be an Oklahoma City blowout win. Okay, it's the second of a back-to-back for both, but Dallas is traveling. OKC is not. Advantage OKC. Be careful with this game with over props. The fourth quarter, garbage time, that kind of thing. SGA had the explosive 50-plus point game on Wednesday, so that's not going to happen again. He might have 35, but he's not going to have a game like that. For Kyrie Irving, it's this. I do not like Kyrie Irving. If you want to go under on his point prop for this game, If it's at like 23 and a half, 24 and a half, go under that number, guys. He's in the second of a back-to-back. Kyrie Irving's going to have Lou Dort, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, SGA, J-Dub, and Caruso dogging him. 6 defensive studs on the perimeter, okay? And leave Dinwiddie on waivers. I don't care if there's a lot of games on Thursday night, right? Streamers aren't really that much of play, but like just he came off the bench on Wednesday, like Jason Kidd. Dude, I can't do it with Dinwiddie, okay? I can't do it with Dinwiddie. I'm completely out. What else you got on this game, dude? Because I got a Luka angle I want to bounce off you.
It was weird that Cason Wallace came off the bench. I think he'd started in 5 or 6 games in a row. So that was bothersome. He still came through with 13 points, 3 steals. Jalen Williams was rock solid for the Thunder in that last game. And of course, Shea scored 54 and the first player to do that for OKC since 2017, Westbrook, I believe. I think we gave a blowout alert for the Utah game, and it didn't really happen. I think the blowout is coming against Dallas. I think SGA is going to go nuts again. I'm going to predict another 50-point game from SGA. That's all I got.
Wow. Okay. At the time that we recorded our preview for Wednesday night, we did not know that Markkanen, Sexton, and Collins were going to play in that game. That was sort of Utah on game day said, hey, let's play it straight. Let's use our lineup tonight. And they gave OKC all they wanted. I think 123 to 114 was the final, but Utah was a very tough out in that game. All right, here's the Luka angle, Doc. Again, buy low, sell high article on sportsethos.com. It will hit the wire probably tomorrow or something like that. Penned by your boy, Rick Kamla. And I have Luka Doncic in the sell high side, Doc. He's actually sort of the signature guy of the entire article because I don't want to wait around anymore. I don't. And Luka is at 28, 8, and 8, okay, which is a really good PRA, but that's down from 34, 9, and 10. He's not even having that great of a year by his incredible standards anyway. When is he going to come back? What status will he be in when he comes back? I think right now, and look, I'm not talking about downgrading off of Luka. I'm talking about, let me do a little refresh here. I'm talking about a trade offer, Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic for Karl Anthony Towns, Luka Doncic for Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Domantas Sabonis, Steph Curry. I'm literally going down Basketball Monster, and these are like Tyrese Maxey at number 13. I'd rather have him than Luka. Philly's not going to tank. They have no reason to tank. They don't have that draft pick. Maxey's going to play. Who else would I do? That may be it. Halliburton. I would offer Luka right now to get into some Tyrese Halliburton, Doc. So that's where I'm at. Do you think I'm nuts, or are you buying what I'm selling?
No, I think it's a good call. Fortunately, I don't have Luka anywhere because I didn't ever have a draft pick high enough to get him. So I think it's a good call because we don't know when he's going to play again. We don't know how careful they're going to be with him, trying to keep him baby up for the playoffs. So I kind of like it. Do you have Luka in a league that I am in with you?
Yes, in the Sports Ethos League. It's a 20-team league. Andre's in it. You're in it. Brew is in it. Many other industry people are in it. I have Luka in that league, and he is killing me.
When
do you want
can
him?
I expect that? When
you
can
trade
I
for him?
expect that trade offer?
Let's do it right now. What do you have your team up? Do you have your Sports Ethos team up right now?
I'm trying. I have James Harden. I have Jalen Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a deep league, man. It falls off
Yes,
pretty hard after that. So if I traded you James Harden, or if I traded you Jalen Johnson or Luka, then I would be the guy sitting on Luka and losing my butt uh, while you're just rolling along with Jalen, throwing it, losing the ball on his way up, catching it, throwing it down, getting Bob Rathman all fired up. Um,
But what
we'll
if
talk
Luka
about it
comes
later.
back? But what if Luka comes back in 2 weeks? That's the gamble. Luka might be back in 2 weeks, and then you've got your guy, and you would have your guy like second week of February for the rest of that. That would be me losing that trade. I would lose that trade. Like I'm betting on a longer absence, but if Luka came, so to me, this is not like, oh hell no. Like I will take James Harden for Luka right now. Do we have a deal?
I don't understand how you just didn't dominate when you had a brief stint selling cars. Because that is you are doing a sales job on me, bro. Uh I like it. I'm intrigued, but I cannot do this right now. I have to sit down
Come on.
with my advisors and a crystal ball and figure this one out.
All right. I gotta write that down because I
You
gotta
you were
Harden
ripping on
Luka.
Kyrie, man. He had 36-9 in that tough loss to Minnesota on Wednesday night. He looks good. Daniel Gafford is another buy low guy because Derek Lively's out for what, 2 months?
Yep.
It's the Gafford show the rest of the way, and he's a block machine. He's a shot blocking machine. He hasn't even scratched the surface, I don't think, of what he's capable of. So I think he's a go get guy. PJ Washington somehow popped in his last game. Uh, I would I wouldn't mind having PJ the rest of the way either.
PJ Washington's going to be fantastic the rest of the way. He is good to go. So guys out there, give us your comments. Luka Doncic, are you trading him away? Are you holding him? What are you doing? Buy, sell high, buy low style. Let us know, man. It is Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla, Steve Alexander, FSWA Hall of Famer here, and we appreciate you guys watching us on the our YouTube channel, the Fantasy NBA today, previewing Thursday night slate. Really fun game here, Doc, in theory. Sacramento at Denver. It is the second of a back-to-back for Sacramento at altitude against a rested Denver team. So maybe that leads to a runaway victory for Denver. I don't know. But on paper, this figures to be a fun game. Denver won the first meeting in Sacramento, 130 to 129. Jamal Murray hit a little left elbow fadeaway J with 8.6 seconds left to give them the lead. Jokic had a triple-double. Russ flirted with a triple-double. Murray had 28. And lots of goodies on the Sacramento side as well. And Doc, what this brings is the matchup between these two stat god centers, Jokic and Sabonis. Domas in the first meeting this year against Denver went 28, 14, and 6, okay? I'm afraid of the PRA over for Domantas Sabonis, though, in this game because it's the second of a back-to-back at altitude, and I fear a blowout here. So I'm afraid of it, but I just wanted to bring up those numbers, and I am excited to watch Domas and Jokic go at it.
Yeah, it should be fun. Julian Strother made some noise in his last game. Um, I don't know if I trust him or if he can keep it going. I think he got hot. He was banging threes. He's somebody worth a deep league glance, at least right now. And then Russell Westbrook and Jokic they've got a special bond, man. And this Denver team is incredibly healthy. The Kings are going to be tired. I think this is a Denver route, and I also think Sacramento may rest some guys. They may be like, you know what, we can't win this game. Let's just give a couple guys the night off.
Good point, Doc. We'll watch for that. Again, in theory, De'Aaron Fox should have a big game. Okay. Fox against Jamal Murray. First meeting, Fox went off 29, 5-7. De'Aaron Fox is quietly having one of the best seasons in the NBA. It's not being talked about enough. He's overshadowed by Sabonis. He's overshadowed by all of the guards in the Western Conference. But he has an amazing year going right now in Sacramento. He is knocking on the door of the All-Star game. I just think it's a little bit too crowded to let him in. And I've got Domas on my All-Star team, and I don't think the Kings are getting two. But Fox went off in the first meeting. Again, I got to check up on playing it or advising it, prop bet style here, because I do fear a blowout in this game in the second of a back-to-back. And Doc and I have made that point a couple of times. Doc, Chicago plays at Golden State on Thursday night, and this should be the Zach LaVine show. He had 35 in his previous game. For the season, he's going 24-5-4, an amazing, very typical Zach LaVine stat line, shooting 51% from the field, which is amazing. Last year in one meeting against Golden State, he went 25-8-7, and that was the at odds with Billy Donovan year. I like the point prop over for Zach LaVine here. Kobe White's not going to play. They need 30 plus from Zach LaVine. This is at Chase Center. The dynasty vibes are still there, at least for players and how they view the team, right? So I think Zach's going to be up for this game. I think he's going to be psyched. And I also think he's going to be motivated with a little revenge, Doc. Chris Haynes reported that the Golden State Warriors turned down a trade offer involving Zach LaVine. So Zach LaVine knows that Golden State said no to him. And so I think that's going to put a little extra chip on his shoulder as well. And I like the point prop over for Zach LaVine. It's probably going to be at 24.5, and I would play the over on that.
Yeah, I like that angle. Is Kobe White out for sure?
He's expected not to play, is what I read.
Oh, dang, man. My 30 deep team is just thinking. Everybody's sitting out. James Harden was out Wednesday. Norm Powell out Wednesday. Kobe missed his last game, and now it sounds like he's going to miss this one. Killing me on a side and personal note. This is setting up for Zach LaVine to go nuts. It's setting up for a possible Josh Giddey triple-double. And Vooch is probably going to have a good game against the semi-centerless Golden State Warriors.
Andre Lemouche, our great producer, asks, how concerned are you guys with Kobe White? Andre, I'm not concerned with Kobe White. He has a right ankle injury right now. And what I know about Kobe White loves the game. He's a tough guy. I've seen him get hurt in games and play through it. I've seen him get hurt, miss a game or two, and come back. He's not a game misser. He's not a guy that just is chill missing games. So I don't believe it's going to be a long absence. It's not a body part that has me really concerned. It's an ankle for a basketball player. So I'm not concerned with Kobe White, Doc. How about you?
I mean, I'm concerned because I have him everywhere, but it's not like I'm pulling the plug on him. I can't trade him right now. It's not going to bring me back anything great. I don't think. And hopefully it's just an ankle sprain and he misses one more game and then he's good to go. But we shall see.
All right, Doc, let's move on to the Boston Celtics at the Los Angeles Lakers. The next chapter in the illustrious story between the two greatest franchises in NBA history. I'm rocking the LeBron jersey for our preview show here because I'm psyched about this game. I mean, this is the good stuff, man. As good as it gets regular season style. And it's always a good game, man. It's like Duke and North Carolina. It's always a good game. The Celtics are in the second of a back-to-back. So nice job by the league here. But, Boston rested some guys on Wednesday at the Clippers, and the Clippers rested a bunch of guys in just kind of a weird game. So the Celtics are going to be somewhat rested with some of their guys for this game, but they literally were kind of loading up for this game with their thought process for Wednesday's game. Keep that in mind. Anthony Davis, guys, in the Christmas Day matchup last year, went for 40 with 13 rebounds and 4 assists, and that was a Porzingis game. Davis is probably going to have a massive game here once again. I do like the LeBron PRA over in this game, Doc. He had a triple-double in his previous game. Celtics in the second of a back-to-back, at least with Tatum and Brown they are. And I just know that LeBron gets up for this matchup and usually has fat stat lines against their nemesis, the Boston Celtics. So I've got some other thoughts, but take us into your thoughts about Celtics and Lakers on Thursday night.
I think it's going to be a good game. Like you said, Boston rested Al Horford and Drew Holiday on Wednesday. Lakers
And
were off,
Porzingis.
and Porzingis. Lakers should be rested. LeBron and AD are questionable for every game, and they seem to play in almost all of those games. I'd like to see Max Christie step up and fill the stat sheet, but I don't know. I think he's a decent pickup right now, but he's hard to trust. It's hard to fully trust. I'm just looking forward to the game. Tatum should be up for LeBron. LeBron should be up for Tatum. Jaylen Brown's going to be up. Austin Reeves is going to be up. Everybody's going to be fired up. So, must-see TV.
Doc, I don't really see Max Christie the same way as you. For a minute, it was a thing, and I was liking the stat lines, and I picked him up in a league or two, and I've sent him back to waivers. The lines aren't doing it for me anymore. Over the last 3 games, he has scored 7, 10, and 5. The minutes have still been pretty rich, too. So I think he may be hitting a wall here. These are more minutes, more legwork than he's ever had to do in the NBA. Maybe, and it's not like, oh, wow, the stats were so amazing, right? They were good. But now they're not good anymore. And so he was north of waiver wire, and we told you to pick him up and that kind of thing. To me, he's now a waiver wire guy and back into streaming status. And for Tatum, Doc, I'm advising people to take the PRA over, the point, rebound, assist combo platter over here, just in case the Lakers force him into a bad shooting night. Like, he's going to have a hard-earned 20 no matter what, okay? And he might pop up for 35. And he might be right on his average of like 28. But like, let's say the Lakers double team him and force the ball out of his hands and like do all kinds of gimmicky stuff, right? Wouldn't surprise me. Like, he's still going to get a hard-earned 20 with free throws and all that kind of stuff. But in a game like that, Tatum always expands in other areas, okay? Like my shot total is going to be down tonight because the way you're defending me. I'm going to rebound more. I'm going to dime more. I'm going to come downhill and feed to open, corner shooters. You guys have all watched Jason Tatum progress that way in his development. I have as well. He's a PRA stud right now in his career. So I like the PRA over for Tatum. I like the PRA over for LeBron in this game.
I'm good with that. Christie is in a shooting slump. That's mainly what his problem is. He hit 2 of 13 on Friday and 2 of 7 on Tuesday, and didn't do a whole lot else. And if he's not scoring, it makes him hard to roster. I think he's going to bounce back in this game, break out of the funk. I like your take on Tatum. Tatum, LeBron, and AD are all going to do cool stuff in this game.
Indeed, man. We got one more game to tell you about. Wizards at Clippers. Stop laughing. We want you to download the Sports Ethos app right now. It's completely free. Go to your favorite app store, Sports Ethos app, download it. Check it out, okay? There's tools included that are going to give you the edge in fantasy basketball. There's individual player blurbs, pardon me, for the NFL, for Major League Baseball. We got it all going. Sports Ethos app, it's completely free, so download it now. Doc, as we get into Wizards at Clippers, people right now should be offering up Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma in sell high trades. Okay. And again, when I say sell high, it's not like you're in a completely advantageous position here. You're at a sell medium level or something like that. But you're looking to get solid players who are going to finish the season. Because I believe the Washington Wizards, Doc, they have been the most earnest tanking team in the league so far. Bringing Valanciunas and Kispert off the bench all year is the most tanky move ever, right? They would literally be making the Wizards a more competitive basketball team as starters. That's why they're coming off the bench, okay? They're going to shut guys down. They're going to double down in their pursuit of Cooper Flag. So, Doc, I'm in the article that I've got coming out, like these two guys, and especially Jordan Poole, because I think you could fetch a good guard back for Jordan Poole, but to me, you've got to be hard selling these guys right now.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going to get back for Kyle Kuzma, but I agree. I get him gone before he gets traded somewhere where he gets buried. Um, when he gets traded, Justin Champagny should make a bounce back and a return to the short-lived glory he had for 2 weeks this season. Keyshawn George would also see a boost when and if a trade happens. And then, earnest tanking, I like that phrase. They've left Bub Carrington in there all year, despite the fact he's not doing a whole lot. Um, I still think Bub is going to do something by the end of the season. But the fact they've let him start this whole season with how he's played tells you everything you need to know. They want Cooper Flag.
Bub, our guy Bub. Bub is going to be nice down the stretch. He's just not nice right now. I'm not cool with the way the Clippers are doing this, resting a bunch of guys Wednesday against the Celtics, and then they're going to probably bring back Norman Powell and bring back James Harden. They might bring back Zubats, although I think he's not resting. I think he might actually be hurt, which sucks. But Powell and Harden are going to come back and play in this game. They're going to have very good statistics. If you want to go over prop on the points for Norman Powell, I advocate it. If you want to go a PRA over on James Harden, I advocate it. Okay, because it's Washington and it's a home game for the Clippers. So I like the spot for them. Okay, I just don't like that. Like, okay, let's rest against Boston and then let's bring our guys back out for Washington. Like, no, play your guys against Boston, try to beat the best, and then the next night have that be Amir Coffee night at Intuit Dome, right? Have that be Terrence Mann night at Intuit Dome, right? Like go with the Wizards with your second unit lineup. I just don't like it. It's lame. It's like non-competitive to me. Like why wouldn't you want to bring your best against the best? I just don't get it.
I think Harden's fine. I'm a little worried about Powell. I mean, he's missed a few games. It's his back. I hope he plays on Thursday night. That will make me feel better. If he doesn't, I'm going to be very sad. And you did not mention let it be a Derek Jones Jr. night because that's what happened on Wednesday. But anyway, I agree. I mean, if these guys aren't really hurt and they're just resting, go out and try to beat Boston and rest them against Washington.
I'm just saying, and especially like they're in it. The Clippers are actually good. I just don't understand that. I really don't. But Doc, we are out of time. We have fully prepped the people on a huge Thursday night. What else you got?
Can we talk about Kawhi Leonard real quick? Like,
Yeah,
what
you got?
Like, where is he? And when are we going to see him again? I thought he was back and good to go, and we were supposed to, buy low on him and yada yada yada. Like, where's Kawhi?
Well, I think you're being funny there with buy low. Like it's just that it's just a no for me. And it has been since the preseason. Frankly, it has been since news came out that he had a procedure and he had the whole thing with the Olympic team. But he's got a knee here, Doc, ruled out against Boston. That's right knee injury management. This is the right knee that with the ACL tear that started the whole thing, and he's had meniscus surgeries and all kinds of stuff, all on the same right knee. This right knee is going to be Kawhi Leonard's downfall. And we are seeing the downfall happen right now. It sucks. It absolutely sucks that the robotic predator that Kawhi Leonard used to be. I don't. Are we going to get that guy back? Does that guy still live? I don't know, dude. But that's where it's at with Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he's just been off my radar all year long.
Kawhi Leonard is going to celebrate the Paris game tomorrow, sitting on his couch with a dozen croissants. He's going to eat 6 of them, and then he's going to eat the other 6 while his team is playing later that night.
Well played, Doc. Hey, Doc's got a Working the Wire article. It's already live on sportsethos.com. And I've got a Buy Low, Sell High article that is dropping very, very soon. So check that out. For Andre Lemouche, for Steve Alexander, I am Rick Kamla. Enjoy yourselves with all of these great games on Thursday night. Doc and I will be back after the games on Thursday night. We'll be on the air at about midnight Eastern on Thursday night for the full recap here. And catch us live on the Sports Ethos YouTube channel and subscribe to the Fantasy NBA Today podcast feed. This show was brought to you by Bet Online.